Good morning, friends. It is Saturday morning on Honey Apple Farm Urban Homestead, and that means it's laundry day. Woohoo! This seems kind of silly to make a video about, but this laundry drying rack is actually one of my absolute favorite things. That sounds super weird. Doing laundry in general is one of my favorite activities because it requires very little work from me and is very satisfying when it is done. So this laundry rack is a pair of sawhorses and a bed frame. The sawhorses were a gift from our next door neighbor, and the bed frame actually was a gift from him as well, in the sense that he had it leaning against the side of his garage for a couple of months, and I kept eyeing it and thinking I could do something with that. And so I asked him if I could have it. It had a bunch of staples in it. In fact, there's one that I keep meaning to take out that I missed. It had a bunch of staples in it, like this, and it had a bunch of that foam backing stuff that comes on cheap mattress frames. And when I took a staycation from my job in the spring, one of my activities was to rip all of that stuff off, to rip out all of the staples. I did originally have legs for this. Peter went out and bought me a long piece of wood, and I cut it up into 6 legs, and I attached each of the legs with 5 nails, and within 2 weeks all the legs had come off. So I just decided it was easier, and they were a little bit lower to the ground, so I just decided it was easier to use the sawhorses, and this has worked out really well. The reason I have this is twofold. The first reason is we didn't really feel like paying for the electricity for a washer dryer or buying a dryer. This house did not come with a washer dryer, and while we were okay paying a couple $100 for a washer, I didn't want to pay for a dryer. And I also didn't want to pay for the electricity to run a dryer. It seemed awfully silly, especially since this backyard gets an amazing amount of sun during the year. In the height of summer, when it's 110 degrees outside, laundry out here dries in an hour or two, which is awesome. Obviously, since it's November and the high today is 65, it will take a little bit longer. The second reason that we have this instead of a line is that we are actually not allowed to have a clothesline. It is part of the requirements or rules, I guess you'd say, by the property management company, which is a bit of a shame. There are times when I certainly would prefer to have a line, but I can understand her point. She doesn't want it to look junky. They're trying to maintain a certain level of, appearance, and that makes sense. So this is what we have for now. It has quite a lot of capacity on it. Because it is outside and visible, we do not put under things out here. So typically what I will do is I'll bring the under things inside and dry them on the inside drying rack, and then everything else will go out here. And then the one thing that does take up a lot of space are things like jeans. So I will often, because this back patio, let's see if I can give you, because this back patio gets a lot of the afternoon and evening sun, my favorite place to dry jeans is actually over this railing. And I'll also flop them over that railing and that railing, all of which get a lot of late afternoon sun, and then the heat will also radiate up from the concrete steps. So it's not super sexy, but that is laundry day at Honey Apple Farm, and I really like this. I have always really liked taking things and repurposing them. It was actually incredibly satisfying to pull those staples out. It was just a beautiful afternoon, and it was fun to do some physical labor. So yes, there are many things garden-wise that I feel very proud of this year, but I would say on the, I guess you'd call it home construction front, this drying rack has been my absolute joy to use this year. So thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next Honey Apple Farm video. Have a great day.